We started down this journey and I just saw a little advert in the paper about the Plains tender, and I thought, oh wow, if we have some of that country, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing that we could look after it and we would get some help and some knowledge, and how amazing that would be.
So on this block there's 1,500 acres, and we run a mixed farm cropping sheep business, and alongside that we have these remnant grasslands that we're being given an incentive to look after. And these spiky ones called blue devils, they're significant because they have native grass species and herb species in them, largely because they're non-arable areas, so haven't been cultivated in the past.
The history of the farm was that when we first purchased it, it had been completely overstocked, and it was also a lot of drought, so there was no grass really anywhere. And then we just spelled the land, so we had no stock here for several years. And so during that period we actually did start getting some rain. So the natural process of the regeneration, the seed set, it made the land regenerate itself really. And we wanted to foster that process, but it is one of those things that, you know, there's a long to-do list. So we were going to do it and we were always trying to keep on top of the weeds, etc., etc. But to have the tender process so we can enhance what we do and to have partners that can help us in what we do, that's just been invaluable.
The funding allows us to not focus completely on production, so we can afford now to destock at the appropriate time and not being pushed into, you know, putting on fertiliser and things to aim at pure production out of the country. The main work has been to reduce the woody weeds and the grassweed species, control rabbits, and just a different style of management. We only graze for a month or so over winter, reduce the biomass, and then basically leave it unstocked the rest of the year, mainly over spring, summer, so that the native species can seed and regenerate. So we can balance environmental outcomes alongside of financial outcomes with the incentives offered by the CCMA, having gone through the tender process and valued the land accordingly.
Having the CCMA help us with the works has just made all the difference in the world. We could not have hoped to have done half as much as what we've done with them. It's enabled us to, if we were busy, we could get into contractors because we knew that we had the funds to pay for it. It's enabled us to cover more country as well. We literally, with the CCMA staff, we literally tramped over just about every inch of that country. So we could see little things like little maidenhair ferns and little tiny little wildflowers, you know, and they could teach us about what was there. You almost need to attune your eyes because some of the stuff is so small that you can't spot it unless you really tune yourself into it. And I mean, luckily, because we've had the cumulative benefits of having the tenders for a few years now, you can actually see more and more of it coming out. So now you can walk down there and you can see echidnas and you can see, you know, the kangaroos and all the, you know, the blue devils and the tiny little wildflowers that are all coming back. It feels like a real partnership and that we've been able to accomplish so much together, especially when we do the reports for them and you can see how the site started off and how it is now. The landscape is totally different, and that's just something that we possibly couldn't have accomplished without the CCMA and their expertise, their financial support, enabling us to manage the land in a way that is beneficial to both of us. It's just been fantastic.
So personally, it gives you a nice feeling to be able to do something to look after the environment. We have to survive, but not everything's about money, so yeah, it's nice to be able to put something back.